What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talks Films, and I am back with another video, and I am back with another review. And this time, I am talking about one of the most unique, creative, and goddamn fascinating films I've seen this year, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. If you made it this far in the video, leave a like, comment, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Matt Talks Films, the one you're watching this video on right now. And also, if you like this big bearded face, you want to see more of me on different platforms, follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I'll see you there. Now, let's get into this film, Bugonia, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, starring Emma Stone, starring Jesse Plemons, starring Stavi, aka Stavros Alkias, and there's a bunch of other fresh faces in this film. But we also got Alicia Silverstone in this movie as well for a little bit. She's very minimal, but she's in this film nonetheless. So, let's get into this film's plot. There's going to be minimal spoilers in this video. I will spoil this film towards the end. I will talk about what I loved with this film, and then I will talk about the spoilers and how I felt about the ultimate resolution of this film. But that won't be now because I just want to talk about the plot briefly, just to get me started off with this film. So this film is about two conspiracy-obsessed young men, Teddy and Don, particularly Teddy. Teddy believes the CEO that he ultimately works under this umbrella. He works in the factory scanning packages, and the company he works for is her company. The CEO is played by Emma Stone, and he believes strongly that she is an alien. And not only that she's an alien, but she's here hurting this earth and has also been here hurting the people that he loves the most. So, what does he decide to do with his cousin Donnie? He decides to get abduct her, kidnap her, just to get to the bottom of everything and what she is and if she truly is an alien. That's the stage for this film, and that's what this film is ultimately about, plot wise and conceptually. And it sets the stage for a really fun and entertaining film that leaves you asking, is she really an alien? Or is this just a conspiracy that has driven this poor young man mad due to his traumas suffered from this company that she is running? So that's the film, and honestly, there's so much to love about this film. There's so much to mesmerize over this film. This film wasn't long at all. Some people are saying this film was slow. It took a little bit to get it going. I disagree. This film wrapped its hands around me from the start of the picture and didn't let go until the end of the picture, and I was very happy where this ride took me. So let's get into what I love about this film. First of all, Yorgos Lanthimos, one of the most courageous and unique filmmakers in the world of film right now. Now, to be transparent, I didn't love Kinds of Kindness. In fact, I thought it was pretty goddamn boring. I almost hated that film. Despite the performances by Dafoe, Emma Stone, and Jesse Plemons being very good, I didn't find myself attached to the film or very much being entertained by the film. But I did absolutely adore Poor Things. Poor Things is one of the best films of the 2020s, in my opinion, and it also has one of the best performances of the 2020s by Emma Stone. I haven't seen The Favorite yet, which is another film Emma Stone won an Oscar for. But I have to watch that, and I'm probably going to watch that this weekend. I've been putting it off, saving it for a cold, stormy night. And luckily in New York, especially on the East Coast, it's been cold and rainy. So I definitely will be watching that this weekend. But Yorgos Lanthimos, one of the most identifiable filmmakers in the world of film right now. You can just tell it's his film as soon as it starts. And to me, in the year 2025, compared to a lot of other filmmakers' slack, that is a key trait and a key characteristic to have, especially if you're a great filmmaker, and he has that trait. All of his films visually look perfect. They're beautiful to look at, they are visually appeasing, and you just can't help but notice the beauty that is being given to you on the big screen. The cinematography and the shot selection in this film is some of the best cinematography and shot selection that you will see all year. I mean, each frame, each shot is perfect. It's perfect. It's almost poetry in motion how well the cinematography in this film is. This film looks beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful to look at. I wish I saw it in 35 millimeter. Instead, I had to go with your classic standard showing at Regal Cinemas in Poughkeepsie, but Yorgos Lanthimos continues to be one of those filmmakers where you're like, hey, he just dropped a new film. I gotta go see it opening weekend. He is that for me. Didn't turn out too great with Kinds of Kindness. Turned out greatly with Bugonia and Poor Things. So Yorgos Lanthimos continues to be one of the most fascinating filmmakers in the world of film and one of the most unique and creative. The concepts he picks, The way he displays his vision on the big screen for us as a viewer is very inspiring and very awe inspiring. I love his work. I love his choices. I love all the unique characteristics and traits his films have. And this film is another example of that. The score for this film is unreal. One of the best scores of the year, if not the best. I think this score is truly terrific, and I think it has a really big chance to win Best Score at the Oscars. That's a tough category because we have Sinners, we have One Battle After Another, but I think it's the best score I've heard all year. It's one of the great amplifiers of the year 2025, in my opinion. The score for this film fits this film like a glove. No OJ pun. The score for this film moved me quite a bit. I thought the usage of it was perfect. It wasn't annoying, and I loved the score of this film. First and foremost, one of the greatest amplifiers to any film this year. So I think this film really, really hit, particularly technically, from the filmmaking to the sound design to the set pieces to everything you would want to see while watching a film technically. This film absolutely nails that, and you got to give your heads up and nods to Yorgos Lanthimos to making that happening. So Yorgos Lanthimos, one of the most brilliant and unique filmmakers in the world of film, and I'm glad he got himself on the right track with this film because I was not a huge fan of Kinds of Kindness. So what else worked for me in this film? First of all, this story is perfect. I think this film has a chance to be nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. Wouldn't see how it's not nominated. I think this film definitely should be nominated. I don't know about winning. It's probably not going to win considering how great this year has been, but it certainly deserves to be in the conversation. So I thought conceptually and story wise, this film was great. Despite it being particularly predictable, it doesn't matter because of the execution. The execution of this film outweighs the predictabilityness of this film because honestly, this film is predictable, especially if you've seen a lot of films, especially if you love film and if you've been going to movies for a minute. You can kind of guess where this film is going, but it doesn't matter because of the execution and how goddamn entertaining and thrilling this film is, especially in its climax. So, the original screenplay, the filmmaking, and the goddamn score for this film is perfect. Now, what else did I love? The performances. Holy cow. Holy cow. I got some big statements. I'm going to save the big performance statement for last, but let's get into the first one. Jesse Plemons continues to be one of the best actors in the world of film right now, while also being one of the most underrated. This man is great enough to lead his own films. He's not technically the lead here, but he's also the co lead. It's him and Emma Stone. Jesse Plemons is terrific as always. He is brilliant in everything he does, whether it's TV or whether it's a short role in Killers of the Flower Moon. He is absolutely brilliant in everything he does, and this film is another example of that. I absolutely love Jesse Plemons. He plays Teddy, who is this conspiracy driven young man who also is heavy on this conspiracy because of his past traumas in his life. And he is so adamant that his worldview is the correct one. That is an extremely relatable and realistic approach to the world that we all currently are living on. A lot of people believe their worldview is the correct one, and they are so adamant about it. They have all this evidence that could back them up, except not every time it is true. And I think Teddy is a brilliant character, and I think the way Jesse Plemons plays him is brilliant. I think he's such a unique character, and I think what Jesse Plemons adds to the written character contextually is terrific. I absolutely would love to see the screenplay, but I think Jesse Plemons brings this character to life and even more so. Don't know if he would get nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars this year because it's been a pretty stacked year, but if he was, would I be surprised? Absolutely not. He's terrific in this film. So Jesse Plemons is terrific. I love the character he plays, this conspiracy obsessed young man who is ultimately driven to these conspiracies due to the traumas and uphill battles that he's faced in his life. And there's a line in this film where he says, I went to the grocery store starving and I bought everything in the store. Like that's where he's been politically all his life. He's been far right, far left, leftist, Marxist. So this guy is clearly a guy who's been trying to find his self-identity, and now he's found his self-identity through this conspiratorial thinking that the CEO that ultimately he works under through this umbrella is an alien. I think this film beautifully captures our times. I think this film is such a great dark satire. I think this film perfectly captures through the character of Teddy how easy it is to be manipulated and how easy it is to just be relentlessly against the opposing class in terms of classism. So I really enjoyed the character of Teddy. I think it's a realistic one. I think it's very telling of the times we live in. And I think Jesse Plemons perfectly portrays the character, and I loved it. I think through his traumas and through his tests in life and through all the uphill battles he's faced politically as a person who's trying to find his self identity is portrayed perfectly through Jesse Plemons. So I really enjoyed this part of this film, and I think Jesse Plemons gives one of the best performances of the year. I think it's terrific. I think he deserves to be in more films, and he's an actor where every time you see him on the screen, you're like, man, he's gonna make this film better, and he does that here in this film. But to be completely honest, the habitual scene stealer, the best actor of this generation, in my opinion. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, Denzel Washington, Daniel Day Lewis, a plethora of other great actors," and a lot of them have their own arguments. But I generally think Emma Stone is the best actor of the 2000s. And whoa, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Relax." She's gonna win her fourth Oscar with this movie. That's how great she is. Emma Stone is a revelation. She is perfectly picking the right movies to be in every fucking time. The chances she takes and those chances paying off the way that they do is sensational. She's gonna win her fourth Oscar. Now she's gonna win an Oscar. These are the Oscars she's won: La La Land, The Favorite, Poor Things, and Bugonia. So that means she's won three Oscars with the same director, which is gonna be Yorgos Lanthimos. So this only this not only is one of the best actors we've ever seen in our lifetime, particularly of this generation. This is one of the best duos in the world of film, Yorgos and Emma, because every time they collab, it is close to a masterpiece every time, particularly in performance. Because every time she does a film with Yorgos, she is somehow elevating. She was terrific in Poor Things. I haven't seen The Favorite yet, which is bad on me, but she is terrific, man. I really, she blows me away consistently. And when we're separating actors and actresses, we can put them together for this. She's the best out of the two. If I'm a filmmaker and casting my film and I have this big budget behind me and I have to pick between a male lead or a female lead, I'm going with Emma Stone. And you could throw all the male leads at me, all the women leads at me. I'm picking Emma Stone every goddamn time. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments. That's how talented she is, and I think she knows she's that talented, and I think that's why she's able to be picking these projects as free as she is, because she takes a chance. She's not afraid. Like a few years ago, not too long ago, she did Zombieland 2. Like, she will go back and do movies like that because that's how confident she is in her ability. I think Emma Stone is brilliant, man. I really think she's the best of our generation. She's one of my favorite actors, if not my favorite actor in the world of film right now. No matter what actor or actress it is, she's my favorite out of the bunch. She is blowing me away every time she's on film, and this might be her best performance. And I thought she was brilliant and transcendent in Poor Things. And honestly, my favorite performance of hers still is La La Land, just because I did not know she could sing like that. And that film gives me these old gold Hollywood vibes to it. Damien Chazelle is brilliant. I want to see her in another Damien Chazelle film, and I also want to see her in another musical. She's brilliant. Also, Emma Stone just did Cruella a couple of years ago. Emma Stone, man. She is the scene stealer. She is also the habitual scene stealer. She is the money maker. She is the best in the world of Hollywood right now, and she is the best of her generation. And she proves it here again, in case you ever doubted it. In case you needed a little reminder of how great Emma Stone is, she shows you here. She is perfect, man. Emma Stone is the definition of perfection, and I can't get enough of her. Um, every time she drops a new film, yep, I'll go see it right away. She has earned that right. Here's my ticket, officer. Or officer. Here's my ticket, Regal. Every fucking time she drops a movie. She's that brilliant, and I think every filmmaker in the world of Hollywood knows that, and I think every viewer in the world of film knows that. There's no one in the right mind who can say Emma Stone is a bad actor. There's no one in the right mind who can say Emma Stone is overrated, because those would just be egregiously false. So Emma Stone, she dominates this film. She is perfection in this film, and my goodness, the different types of tones she used in this film, the different types of personalities she used in this film. I mean, the way she conveys her character through this film, she's a CEO who is bratty, who is a boss, who's also a dominant boss. Like, she takes MMA classes. Like, she's also a a really mean boss. There's a scene in this movie where she's telling her assistant to let everyone know at her company that at 5:30 you are free to go. But you're not free to go. Like, we have quotas to meet, we have things to meet. So, like, if you have more work, stay. But we don't want you to like feel forced to stay. But if you have more work to do, stay. But you're feel free to go at 5:30. It's such a fucking good scene, and it's really telling of the times you live in, and it's telling of working and living under the corporate umbrella. And I love her in this film. She is beautiful, she's terrific, and she's one of the most talented people I've ever seen in the world of film. She can sing, she can do all these different type of roles. She has that much confidence in her ability to do all these different type of roles, and she constantly crushes picking the projects. A lot of great actors are great, but they fail on picking the right projects. That is not a trait of hers. She picks the right projects and she delivers every time. So Emma Stone is the best actor of her generation, and she's the best actor in the world of film right now. And honestly, don't think it's close. Let me know if you disagree or not, but that's really how I feel. Emma Stone, I love you. I am Emma Stone's biggest fan. I swear, man, I love Emma Stone. She's the best. I've really been following her since like Easy A and Superbad. Like, I remember growing up watching her films, and to think I would have thought she would go on to win 4 Oscars now, in my opinion, where I think she's going to win the fourth one this year, is something I would have never guessed. So, shout out to Emma Stone. She's really elevated her career every year that she's been acting. So I love Emma Stone. Stavi, aka Stavros Halkias, is in this film as well. If you're big into the comedy realm or the comedy podcast realm, he's in this film. He's not in it much, but he is kind of a pivotal role. He's the sheriff of the town who also has had these bad, traumatic transgressions towards Teddy in the past. He used to be his babysitter. And it's kind of insinuated that he did these terrible things to Teddy, and he's like repenting for it now and like feeling very remorseful about it, and like telling Teddy it's been a while. Like, it's really funny scenes. It's not like overtly funny, but it does put a smile on your face of how ridiculous the scenario is. But I really, really love Stabby in this film. He was a good aspect of this film. And there's also this newcomer that I've never seen act before. He's the cousin of Teddy, Donnie. His name is Aiden Delbus. Pretty good. Probably not going to be an actor moving forward, but I don't know. He brought a really interesting aspect to this film. There's a scene between him and Emma Stone in a basement when Teddy is talking to the police officer upstairs. It is one of the most horrifying and seat grabbing scenes of the year. I was shocked by the result of that scene, but he was going band for band with Emma Stone, and honestly, Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone were going band for band in terms of talent in this film. The entirety of it, they were going band for band. Like, hey, I got 1,000. She's like, I got two. And then they kept on leveling up on each other. And it was a battle of talents, and Emma Stone won it, but Jesse Plemons put up a great fight. Really, this film is a display of three egregiously talented people, and I think Emma Stone sits on the top of that, but it's Emma Stone, Yorgos, and Jesse Plemons, and when you combine all three of those talents, especially when one has the filmmaking talent and the other two have the performance talents, it's going to make for a great film. So I absolutely love this film. Was it predictable? Yes. Were the themes and what this film was trying to say sometimes overt? Of course. But that's easily overlookable when the execution of the film is so potent and so goddamn good. The performances are great, the filmmaking is great, the concept is super interesting and fascinating, and then you get the score, cinematography, and everything that falls on top of that umbrella. You get a great film. So I guess we will get into a little bit of spoilers here. Ultimately, if you want to stop at this part of this video, that is fine. But let me give you my rating first. I give this from a 4.5 out of 5, a 9 out of 10, 87 out of 100, something along those lines. This film warrants a second viewing. Not because it's super complicated to understand, but because I think your opinion of this film will be a lot more confident if you watch it for a second time. And that's what I'm hoping for. I think my opinion of this film will be more confident and more convincing after a second watch. So I think I'm going to see this tomorrow again with a double feature of Back to the Future and Bugonia, which is, I'll sign up any day of the week for that at the movie theaters, man. So Bugonia, 9.5 out of 10, 87 out of 100, something along those lines. Yorgos Lanthimos and Emma Stone combined again to make a great film, and also I think they combined again to win another Oscar, specifically for Emma Stone. Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Yorgos Lanthimos absolutely cook with this film. and I couldn't be happier. I think this film is gripping. It almost felt like an epic at times, specifically because of the scale. This film is small in scale relatively. The special effects are great, and obviously visually this film looks great. But this film did feel like an epic to me at times. It just had the aura and essence of an epic, and I love that feeling, especially when the film is not grand at scale. And this film is very quaint and neat at scale, so I really appreciate that. Bugonia, one of the best films of the year, one of the most exciting films of the year, one of the most unique films of the year, one of the most creative films of the year, and goddamn, one of the best sci-fi films of the year. Go see this film if you haven't already. Bugonia, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, starring the best actor in the world and the best actor of your generation, Emma Stone. Now, let's get into spoilers. So, she is an alien, and it was predictable. It was predictable, especially when you've seen a lot of films in your life. It was predictable. But like I said, the execution of this film, it doesn't matter because the way the execution of this film and with the way we find out she's an alien and the way that we are told she's an alien is perfect. We always have an inkling and a feeling that she's an alien, but there is sliver of doubts throughout this entirety of this film, which is signs of great storytelling and great filmmaking because there's moments in this film where I'm like, she's definitely an alien. Like I'm 99% sure. And then there's moments of this film I'm like, she's not an alien, bro. It's so funny because the word echo chamber gets thrown around in this film like once or twice, and a part of me is like, finally Teddy was speaking from an echo chamber that was right. Like the echo chamber was right. She is an alien, and there is this species on this planet trying to make a change. Now he thinks they're trying to make a change to hurt humanity, and specifically hurt his family, like he thinks they've done. And that is not the case. In fact, they're here to save and help humanity from imminent death, like we see at the end of this film. And his mom was a result of them trying to help humanity and that disease that his mom was fighting through, except it didn't work out that way. And that's why he has such hate and anger towards this CEO and has so much conspiratorial fuel towards this conspiracy. And I really enjoyed that. And Emma Stone quickly realizes that planet Earth isn't like it used to be or isn't like how it hoped it would be. And ultimately, she kills off the entirety of this Earth after the events that transpire between her and Teddy. And I really loved how they ended this film. I thought it was brilliant. Emma Stone waking up in the ambulance and like stripping off her neck brace and everything, walking out of the ambulance on the road back to the office so she can actually transport back to her mothership. And she wasn't bullshitting Jesse Plemons when he goes in the closet and he has the bomb strapped to himself, and she's like, all right, I'm going to press this calculator, it's a 58 digit code, and you're going to go back to my mothership. He just accidentally blew himself up. That was maybe one of the most shocking parts of the movie because I thought she was bullshitting with him, but she was still an alien because a 58 letter code or number code is super specific. So I was like, that's too specific to just be a lie. And she was telling the truth because that's how she teleported back to her mothership, and that's how she made the decision to get rid of the, the the Earth and the humans. And it turns out she was actually the Emperor, and she was in charge of the decisions being made and how Earth would turn out, and how would she change humanity for the better. And she was trying to change humanity for the better, and it didn't work out that way. And I love the decision being made at the end of this film. I think it was the right decision. I think if the decision at the end of this film was made that she's not an alien, I think this film would have been a lot worse. It would have been a good film still because of how great it is filmmaking wise and how great the performances are. But I think the story probably would have fell on deaf ears and ears that weren't satisfied. The ending that we got in this film is very satisfying despite it being predictable. Um, One of my favorite scenes in this movie, I kind of hinted at it earlier, was with Don when Teddy and Stavros are having the conversation upstairs and he's trying to, you know, get him out of the house because he has the CEO captured in his basement. And it's Donnie and Emma Stone in the basement. And she's putting all the stuff into his head about, like, hey, like, if you let me go, you can come back on the mothership with me because like it's Donnie's telling her I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be on this earth. And she's like, yeah, you can come up with us on Earth, but you feel like she's bullshitting him. And ultimately, he takes the wrong clue as he has a shotgun in his head, and he's like, tell Teddy I love him, and I'll see you on the mothership, and he shoots his brains out. And it's one of the most traumatizing scenes of the movie and of the year. I was surprised about that decision. Kind of lukewarm on like why that decision was made, but nonetheless, it made for a great story and an enthralling one. There's a lot to spoil with this movie. I don't want to ruin this movie talking about the spoilers as much as I want to talk about the spoilers, but I thought it was important to talk about the decision being made that she actually is an alien. By watching the trailer, you would have guessed that she was an alien, right? But it's okay because despite how predictable the movie is, it's fine because of how great everything else is. So I really like that, and I think the themes of this film pressing on conspiracy and how easily manipulative a person with trauma and looking for their own self identity can be is very potent themes, despite the themes being overt and a little on the nose. So I really loved the themes of this movie. I love where this film went, and I think everything was nailed almost as perfectly as you can get it. So it is your boy Matt Talks Films. I really, really enjoyed this film. It's one of the best films of the year. It's one of my favorite films of the year. I think it's a top 8 film of the year. I think it's sitting firmly at 8. It might move up if I make it a 5 after a second watch. I love the performances. I love the filmmaking. And I love the themes at play within this film. So, 4.5 out of 5. Thanks for making it this far. Leave a like, comment if you made it this far. Subscribe to this channel if you made it this far, by the way. Because if you made it this far, why not just subscribe? And also, next week I will see you. I don't know what film's coming out yet. I forget at the moment, but your boy will be back reviewing something because this is what I love to do at the end of the day. So Bugonia, 4.5 out of 5, one of my favorite films of the year. And if you haven't seen it yet, go see it this weekend. Halloween weekend, go see potentially a sci-fi classic. It is your boy. I'll see you on the flip side. Matt Talks Films. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And guess what? I will see you there.